Hey everyone, Psychopath1 here. I'm going to try to do 3 reviews tonight. This morning, it's midnight now, but, as you can read from the title, it is going to be It 2017. It's a curse that this cover is black. It doesn't really leave enough to the imagination, but what's on it is Georgie in his raincoat with Pennywise holding a balloon. If you've seen the theatrical posters, that's exactly what's on this. But anyways, I actually went to the theaters and saw this. I saw it with my girlfriend, her brother, her mom, and her dad. We had a grand old time. It's one of the better movies of 2017 when it comes to like horror, and there wasn't really a whole lot of good horror movies to begin with in 2017, unless you're going for the underground stuff. But I liked the movie. Did I love it? No. It's got some problems, and I will always love the 1990 miniseries more. Hell, I did it in a 3-hour full-length review over the miniseries. I did both parts in one video. Oh my goodness, I'm surprised I talked for 3 hours on that thing. But anyways, the stuff I liked about it, the acting, it's the acting of the kids is pretty good. Bill Skarsgård is pretty fun as Pennywise, but he's no Tim Curry. Yes, I will keep on talking about the 1990 version in this video, but when you're comparing one thing to another, one is great, one is just fun to gather around a group of friends, and this is fun to gather around a group of friends, but it starts off promising enough. What you got is, unlike the miniseries, the first part focuses just on the kids. Okay, there you can see the cover. It's all focused on the kids. It's no flashbacks or anything. So yeah, and it takes place in the 80s instead of the 60s. Because they wanted it to coincide with 2019 being part 2, which would actually be 2016 because they're going 27 years instead of 30 years. So anyways, the acting is good. Probably my favorite one was gotta find the name. It doesn't say on the back, but the girl who played Bev did a really good job. It had the darkness of the book, and for a Stephen King movie adaptation, you've got to kind of have that darkness. But what killed this movie for me was the CGI. And anybody who knows me knows I'm not really into CGI, especially in a horror movie. So, yeah. So most of the time when Pennywise does morph into something, it's done with terrible CGI. I actually got a figure somewhere. Grab it real quick. Right there. I got this down at Super Geeks and Gaming for $25. You can't really see it, but I'll try my best to show it off. No, it's not gonna show up. But This is the 2017 Ultimate NECA figure, the Well House figure. I accidentally broke the pipe. Yeah, like when I was trying to insert it into the head, the pipe broke on me, so yeah. But hopefully we can see what's inside and it will show up. Yep, so my finger's in the way. But anyways, I got the pipe head going on. Like Bill Skarsgård, he looked the part of Pennywise, and they went for more of a Victorian era type of look to his wardrobe. So that was kind of cool because, like, if you've read the book, you know that Pennywise came before the universe, like before mankind was even thought of, and he'd feast on pretty much the life that was on planet Earth. And it'd be the dinosaurs, the reptiles, but he'd only go for every 27 to 30 years. And when mankind was finally brought to light, he started feasting on fear. And it's been years since I read the book, so my memory's a little hazy. But one scene that really struck me in the book was, I can't even say it without getting demonetized, even though I don't monetize my videos anyways, but if I was, I'd definitely get demonetized and I'd probably get this video flagged. But there's a risque part in the book, and I was in the middle of reading it in high school, and I was just like, ew, no, I didn't need to hear that. But anyways, going back to the positives, the gore, even for CG gore, the gore is actually pretty good. You actually get to see kills in this movie, so that's nice. And this is coming from somebody who really appreciates special effects and whatnot, and even some CGI gore can be pretty nice too. But anyways, it starts off, Georgie is getting his boat ready, and Bill tells him how to get it moving and everything, and pretty much tells him, like, hey, go outside and play, and so he goes, and what ends up happening is the boat ends up swerving right into the sewer, just like the original 1990 version. And then all of a sudden you hear like a carnival sound inside the sewers. And then all of a sudden you see two eyes, and they're the eyes of Pennywise. And he introduces himself, I am Pennywise the Dancing Clown, and you are Georgie. Bill's gonna kill you. Don't you want your boat back? And, like, I wouldn't trust a clown like that. But then again, I love horror movie clowns, so I'd be like grabbing a stick or something and just trying to get the boat out that way. But anyways, he tries to make Georgie feel guilty about losing the boat, and so Georgie goes in to reach his arm into the sewer, and what ends up happening is Pennywise's maw just opens up, the mouth opens up, and this is what I'm talking about with the CGI. I just didn't like the way the CGI looked. It was, but anyways, as I was saying, through most of the movie, you're watching Bill try to figure out, is Georgie alive or is he dead? Because nobody was ever found. And after the bad CG mall coming open, he bites Georgie's arm off, and then you get like however many weeks later, and Bill has been searching for Georgie for a while, and he slowly discovers that Georgie is apparently somewhere in the sewer. So he keeps on looking in the sewer, and he goes with his friends Eddie, Ben, Bev. They haven't really met Mike yet, but they all go in, except, well, maybe not Bev. Bev goes in later on in the film, but they go into the sewer, and Eddie pretty much says a funny line like, "No, I'm not going in there. That's gray water." And then Richie, I forgot to say Richie, he ends up saying, "It doesn't smell like caca to me, senor." And then he says, "Gray water is pretty much pee and the S word mixed together." And so what ends up happening is they end up walking further into the sewer, and they find a shoe of one of the missing girls. And that's when they realize, oh my gosh, something is wrong. And so anyways, what ends up happening is they go back to tell what they found. And Henry Bowers is in this movie too, and I just didn't like the character of Henry Bowers to begin with, and I think the actor played him well, but I've just never been a big fan of the Henry Bowers character, both in the book and in the miniseries, and definitely not here in the 2017 version. But anyways, they end up picking on Mike for being the only African American kid in Derry, so they're like telling him to go back to where he came from and whatever, and like telling him all this derogatory, mean stuff, and I'm just like, I don't need to hear this. But anyways, Henry, I'm going to skip all throughout this movie, different parts, that way my video's not too long. But anyways, there's a scene where they're going through the photos of Derry, and they end up seeing Pennywise in one picture, and then all of a sudden the pictures just start going randomly, and all of a sudden Pennywise just pops out of the oh, I always forget what those are called. Somebody's probably going to say it down in the comments. But anyways, he pops out, and like it's a big smiling Pennywise with big smiling sharp teeth. Yeah. I'll show you the head. It actually came with the book. Came with the figure. Show it off. Maybe this will show up on camera. Don't know if you can really see it, but that's Pennywise's head. he's smiling, and that's the smile he gives during the scene of him coming out of the if I had brains, I'd be dangerous right now. And then they end up figuring out, hey, the house on Neighbor Street, which is mentioned in the book, might be where Pennywise lives. So they go there, and you get this great scene where the pole gets shoved into Pennywise's head, and then all of a sudden he's just swinging his head, trying to hit the kids with the pipe, and I'm like, oh man, that's kind of different. Bad CGI, but it's different. I know I keep complaining about the CGI. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best to stay positive with this review. But anyways, they end up finally going into the sewers. And the reason I haven't said, like, the fears of these kids is because, like, for those who haven't seen it, like, the fears of each of the kids is pretty interesting, how Pennywise messes with them. So that's pretty cool. So they go into the sewer to save Bev. Like I said, I'm skipping around. They end up trying to save Bev from Pennywise, and she's floating up in the air. And the way Ben ends up saving her is he ends up kissing her, and it breaks the spell of Pennywise. And so they end up going to town on Pennywise. They beat him with a pole. They beat him with a knife. They stab him. They bludgeon him with a baseball bat. And I'm just like, oh man, this is pretty cool. And then he ends up getting defeated, or so we think. And what ends up happening is it says, It Chapter 1, The End, in the Losers Club. And then we had to wait 2 years, but I didn't get to see the second part in the theater, so yeah, it was a bummer. But anyways, I'll get to It Chapter 2 at some other point. But what do I give it 2017? I give it... there is stuff about it I did like. The acting, the scares of each of the person's fears was pretty cool. The gore was pretty good, even for CGI standards. Some of the humor was pretty good. When I was in the theater with my girlfriend and her family, there were a bunch of people laughing, and I'm just like, okay, it's not that funny. But anyways, I give it a 7 out of 10. Now, people might say that's kind of low, but the way my ratings work is a 7 is still a really good watchable film. And I do really enjoy the film, so it gets a 7 out of 10. An 8 out of 10 is a movie I can watch repeatedly on repeat. And another thing that I should mention, the reason I don't watch the It 2017 movie that much is because it is long. It's not as long as the second part, but it is 135 minutes. So 2 hours and 15 minutes. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. But then I got the second one, and I got these fairly cheap too at my job. This is It Chapter 2. And It Chapter 2 is 169 minutes. And I'm just like, what in the holy mother of what? I'm just like in shock. And there's not enough interesting stuff in It Chapter 2. Like, there are good performances, don't get me wrong, but we'll get to that some other time. But for now, this is Psychopath1 signing off. I will be back here in a little bit with another review.